Sherman. My husband is a fireman paramedic in the city. I don't know where everybody got these stats, but he picks up a lot of people, and he's constantly doing the same people. You wanted that answer to do a positive thing? Positive would be some of that money that comes from our oil revenues, instead of giving it to Quebec and Ontario, we as a government of Alberta, turn around and say, we need it for this, this, and this, and this for our giving rehab, taking care of those people. But also with that, you have to take care of all those first responders who had to deal with that crap. It's not that hard for us as a government, and it's the government of Alberta and the federal government who actually let us down. They knew all this was happening. They skirted. I'm not skirting. Get the damn money from where we're shipping it, bring it back here, and say, look, we need this done. I've seen, since we've been here, and I lived here a long time, and I am a business owner. I own a marijuana shop. I employ people who are actually drug addicted. I don't have a problem with that. I know how to work with them. The fact comes down to most of this government doesn't. It's just, let's get a panel up here, let's figure it out, and we'll see what the panel does. I mean, I had to deal with when it came to marijuana, and it was a ridiculous joke. I mean, people who were on that panel had no clue about marijuana. I am a medical patient. I had cancer. I worked my ass off to get to where I am, and I help the people who are having problems. But when you're asking for something positive, you already know. You already know it's the government has to hand down money. And we have it right now, not to be rude to the Conservatives, he's cutting back. I don't blame him, but he's cutting back. So it's time for us to turn around and say, no, we can't give it to you, federal government. We need it here. And it's gotten worse here, and we all know it because of everything that we've lost. Your oil, we've lost jobs. And why 30-year-old guys are killing themselves is because of that. It is, like, come on, you guys, like, you want answers? I just gave you. And when it comes to Mitchell sent you guys, great idea, but it's covered in asbestos. It is covered with a cancer-causing thing. You don't want, so you want to kill them with cancer? Like that's the next thing we're gonna do? I don't think that's the right, if we can change it, maybe that money could change that. That's a huge site. The only problem is, everyone that lives around there, do they want those people there? And I'm not saying it's in those people,
doesn't matter
where. Them too. It's the people who are not who they were. They were different people at that time until they're sober. So when they say who and them and that, that's why. Because they are not, if I was that drug, they're not Annalisa. That's not Annalisa, she's drug addicted right now. When she's sober, that's Annalisa. So when you guys all get up like that, don't. There's a reason why people do that, they just don't explain it well enough. So I'm actually asking you guys to think about that with the government. And please get in there and ask them. We give billions of dollars to Quebec. Can't we take $1 billion for ourselves?
Co-owner of some commercial real estate downtown. 55th Street Music is the locations. My concern is that there's been a lot of talk throughout the years about revitalizing downtown, Riverlands, etc. And to me, this is the opposite of revitalization. I was shocked, horrified when I was out in Gasoline Alley and saw the amount of professional corps that have moved out there. What historically is in downtown, if you look at Edmonton, Calgary, Red Deer at one time, it's the financial hub. You have your accountants, you have your banks, you have insurance companies. They're all heading out. I think the Red Deer County is salivating right now because their tax base is increasing and downtown Red Deer's is decreasing. It's alarming, very alarming. I was hoping that the manager that's currently at 53rd Street Music would be here tonight so she could relate an incident that happened at the store. And again, I'm thinking, do we want safe injection sites near schools? Because basically what you're doing is you're putting these are music schools. We have children, kids, going in and out. 52nd Street Plaza has some rooms for lessons, and so does 53rd Street Music. There was a woman not that long ago that was high on drugs that was in the store smashing guitars throughout the store. Children are going in and out of this. We're finding needles in bushes. In our 52nd Street Plaza location, in behind, they had a hole in the siding, and they had the overdose kit tucked away in there. There was needles all over the ground. I really truly believe it is about rehab. It is not about safe injection sites. I don't think that is working, because I've heard from other people too, and a lot of businesses around here that have people frequenting their washrooms. I was just at my hairdresser today, and she said she was at a downtown business. She went into the washroom and someone was injecting there. So a woman had to escort her outside, and the woman's buddies are out there wearing these masks with skeletons on them. A little intimidating for the patrons of downtown Red Deer. Anyway, I do believe that we're developing a community downtown for the users. They're very comfortable. They enjoy being down there because that's where, and is that really helping them? Because if they are trying to get off the drugs, there's enablers down there, making it comfortable to do the drugs, not assisting them in any way, but they're enjoying it together. I shouldn't use the word enjoying, because I know a lot of them, it's something that's an addiction, and it's not an enjoyment anymore, but they're enabling each other together. So I do believe it needs to be moved off-site somewhere, where they're monitored, and that it's not a welcoming community anymore, which it has become.
Thank you so much.
My name is Rodney Lush. I'm from Lower Fairview, and I see all these drugs going to the consumption site, to the mustard seed. They're so spaced out. Half of the people are getting hit or about to get hit. They're causing trouble. Kids are scared to walk down there because of all the drug users. When you have drug use, you have crime. You have crime, you have drugs. You have to stop. You have to stop the drugs, then you will stop the crime. And my background is, I am from a foster home. I lived with kids my age with drugs. They got the help. You need to start at 16 and lower to stop the cycle of the drugs. You can't just let them have the drugs and let them free. It's just creating so much chaos down in Lower Fairview. People are getting broken into, getting stabbed. I seen this morning 2 ambulances at the mustard seed hauling one person away from doing drugs, okay? And last Saturday, I seen an ambulance trying to pick up a lady who was all spaced out. They were trying to get her into that ambulance. I see it almost every single day, the ambulances. I told people this was going to happen in 3 years ago, and they told me, oh, to shut up. All these programs, people told me to shut up because I seen it coming. I'm a security officer. I did not do drugs in the foster home. I changed my life. I made it better. I'm a trained security officer, and I see this all the time, every day, every night. I hear the police coming at the mustard seed, at the stores, because they're looting, they're stealing, they're causing trouble for people. If you take away the consumption site, it will bring down the crime, and everything will come back down to reality. But I think it's more programs, get people on the street, get the social workers to get these people off the street, because they're just walking from one place to another place and causing trouble in the city down where I live. But the funny thing is, at Christmas time, nobody's around. Where do they go? Tell me.
Vancouver.
Where are they going?
Where it's warm.
We're spending millions of dollars, millions on top of millions, bad money on top of bad money, trying to do this for the people, but it's not working. You have to think another way of doing things, because some people's heads are not on right, really. If you come and see what I see, I could throw a baseball at these places where I live. Okay, I see it every single day.
Just so you know, your time's up, sir.
I know that,
I know.
but things have to be said and have to be said the truth
No, just
instead of
sit-
blowing
just-
sunshine up everybody's ass.
Right on.
Thank you.
Leave it through.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. We have somebody else lined up, ready to go too?
Hi there. My name is Darlene, and I live in Riverside Meadows. I'm the vice president of my condo board, and I have had complaints from the occupants of our units about their cars getting broken into, people looking through cars. And just this Sunday, I saw one of my neighbors trying to chase away a drug addict that was breaking into his stuff, and she eventually left, but you could hear a lot of yelling and stuff. As well as all that, I am also trained as a legal assistant, and from a legal perspective, drugs are illegal, so why are we aiding and abetting them? Isn't that a criminal offense?
Thank you. Got some?
Hello, my name's Albert. I live in Riverside Meadows. I'm on the board of directors on the Community Association. Our community center always gets spray painted. We always find needles down there. I don't agree with this consumption site. My grandfather was fought in the war, they didn't fight for this. But I see people that our veterans are living on the streets. Why aren't our veterans first instead of this consumption site? I don't agree on it. I'm working oil patch crap right now. I just don't agree with why we're doing this. It's not right. I think our veterans should come first, and we should think about that first before anything else.
Thank you so much. You can take a breath and we'll put, yeah, take a breath. There you go.
So, my name is Jessica, and I'm a Red Deer College student. I would like to tell you a story about these people. This woman I'd like to speak about, at the age that she was able to, joined the Canadian military. She served for 12 years. She served in Bosnia, saw horrific things, but still served for our country. After that, she came back home, had 3 kids, became a nurse, so went back to school, was giving a lot to society, and then in 2000 she was in a car accident that caused her youngest daughter to die. This woman was my mother. She passed away from an overdose last year. Now, we can say that there's public services available, but due to the insane wait times, I had to pay for services that should have been offered. I'm a college student, and I had to pay for these services. I had to take out loans in order to support my mother. And just so you all know, I'm a taxpayer, and so is she. There is no they versus us. I recommend more funding for public services. Overdose prevention sites need to have a place. If it's not downtown, they still need to be here. And the times that I was assaulted was in Red Deer, and those people weren't on drugs. One was a tradesman, and one was a taxi driver. I was sexually assaulted by a tradesman who was giving a lot to society, but wasn't using drugs, so what was his excuse? Same for the cab driver. These people who are committing crimes, do we know that they're 100% on drugs?
Let's practice the respect here and make sure that, yeah, I don't want to honor your time, so go ahead.
I believe that everyone deserves a place. That's what I'll say.
Thank you.
I could tell you a whole bunch of stories about why the drug issue in Red Deer is out of hand, but you've heard it all tonight. Something you haven't heard is why is the federal and provincial government not funding more police services to take care of the drug addiction issue, the drug dealers, the meth labs, the actual criminals that are infecting our communities, and I don't hear about it. Like they're not being stopped because, as you can see, it's out of control. As a business owner, I've had crowbars taken at me in my store. I've had my vehicle stolen, and it has been found with bags of methamphetamines in it that my kids have to get back into that car. You know, I'm not against the safe injection site. What I'm against is you're handing them $1 and you're telling them to do a $100 job. There isn't funding to support the safe injection sites, there's no other program